everybody, welcome back to Fandomly Speaking,
where each week we speak randomly about fandoms. I'm Liza.
And I'm Melissa. And this week we are talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer
Again.
seasons 4 and 5. Yes, we are doing a series of 3 videos on Buffy. We did the first 3 seasons of high school years. Now we're doing the college years, and then it's that real life last season.
Yeah. So if you have not watched seasons 4 and 5 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, we will be spoiling everything today. There will be lots of spoilers.
Be a lot
seasons
of spoilers.
4 and 5. And probably the way we talk, probably seasons 6 and 7 as well.
This is probably going to get in there too. Yeah.
So.
I just left it out too. I just left out season. I'm all over the place. I was like, in the last episode, it's just about one season. No, it's not. It's 6 and 7.
6 and 7.
And the other final warning, well, this is not your final warning.
Final warning.
Is that we are 2 Gen X autistic women and we have no idea where this conversation is going to go.
Get out while you can. Final warning.
And it's our 25th episode.
Yes. Thank you to all of you weirdos who have stuck with us. We love you guys.
Thank you. And we do love all of the people, like we've said to you guys so many times, please comment as we're talking. And some of you really taking it to heart, and we're really enjoying seeing you like chime in and be like, and another thing. Love it.
Because that's how we think too.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when I'm watching like a long video, by the time I'm at the end of it, I sometimes don't comment because I'm like, well, now I don't know. I had ideas, but I forgot.
I know, me too. But you had a big weekend geeking this week. You did a bunch of stuff, didn't you?
I did, actually. Yeah. I was just kind of, So I've been watching a lot of The Vampire Diaries. I finished the book that I was reading. I was feeling epic about The Vampire Diaries, and I loved it. And anybody out there who's a Vampire Diaries fan, we need to convince Liza to watch the show in its entirety.
Now that I'm done with Buffy.
Do 3 episodes on The Vampire Diaries.
Right.
Because you can. Anyway. And then I went to the YouTube Kids app 10th anniversary celebration and hung out with, let's see, I met another Wiggle, so I'm collecting Wiggles in my life.
Wait, what Wiggle did you meet? Who'd you meet?
I met Tony? Mm-hmm. He's one of the
color
replacement
Wiggle
Wiggles. He's the red Wiggle.
The red Wiggle, okay.
The red Wiggle, and he told a funny story about how when he took over as the red Wiggle, those like long sleeve T-shirts that they wear, apparently in Australia they're called skivvies. Now in America,
like underwear.
Skivvies means right?
Right.
So they were on tour in America. It was his first time. He's doing like a morning show type of thing, and he talked about how he was very honored to be wearing
red skivvies.
The red, but his red skivvies, and he's like, the presenter just kind of froze for a second.
That's so funny.
And then glossed over it, and he went backstage, and somebody was like, yes, skivvies are underwear. And he's like, oh, God, I just told America that I enjoy wearing his red underwear.
I love it. Cute.
Yeah, so that was good. And then I went to the Toy Insider's Holiday of Play.
Oh, you did all that at once. Good Lord.
It was 2 days, man.
Yeah.
So the Toy Insider's Holiday of Play, well, their holiday lists are out now. You can go to thetoyinsider.com and see what's on their list of top toys. And they like test all the toys too. Like that's part of why I love the Toy Insider. So we got to see what was hot. Cool. Saw a lot of friends. Last thing, and I'm talking a lot in this segment, but
no, it's good.
Do you know what I'm doing tomorrow in geeking?
I'm excited. I know what you're doing.
Do you want to tell them?
No, you tell them.
Okay. I'm finally going to see Howl's Moving Castle, but I'm seeing it in the theater on the big screen.
That's great. I hope you love it. I really do.
Yeah. I probably will. It's a weird thing with me. I just get stubborn about stupid shit.
Well, don't we all? No, but I mean, especially seeing it in the theater. Good Lord, that movie's so beautiful. It is so, it's going to be, you're going to like it. I think you're going to like it. I can't wait to hear.
Yeah.
So this week I didn't do a lot. So that's why I was glad you were talking. I didn't do a whole lot. I've been watching Buffy. I only have 3 episodes to go in the whole series. I mean, the last 3 episodes of the whole series. So then I don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
How's your mood right now?
I know. It's crazy. And every time I try to pick up a book, I just go back to Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I'm having the worst time. I can't get out of it. So I've already reread through book 6 a second
Get
time.
out. And, I was talking to my friend Jimmy. He's from a toy company called Just Play. And so when I saw him in July at Sweet Sweet, he told me he had just picked up Dungeon Crawler Carl. But he's reading the books.
Yeah.
So I asked him now, like, how's that going? And he's having the same problem I am. He's stuck in the middle of book 3. And I said, dude, I think you need to just push through, and I need to push through. Because a lot of people have a problem with the whole train.
The tangle is hard.
The tangle's just not working for me.
Hard.
It feels very repetitive, too.
It's it's trains. They're coming. It's supposed to be, and it's supposed to feel like that because it feels like that to them. I don't know. I just can't get out of it. And I've tried to read like other books on my TBR in between, and then I just can't get into them. So then I go back. I was like, let me just finish it, and then maybe I can move on. And I decided I was going to reread Way of Kings, the Brandon Sanderson big Stormlight arc. I'm like, let me just get it back into that. And I looked it up when the next book comes out. Melissa, the next book doesn't come out till December 2031. No.
That's like a George R.R. Martin putting a date of 2031 on the last Game of Thrones book. 2031, give me an effing break.
I mean, do you know how old we're all going to be by 2031? I was like,
I don't want to think about
it. Good gracious. So that made me real sad. But I haven't done really anything else. Just Buffy and Carl. That's it.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of listening to thrillers again. I really like mystery murder, not like real crime. Just I like it when somebody gets killed and everybody's secrets come out. Those are my favorite kind of books, where like the whole perfect neighborhood, you find out who's a swinger, who's a drug addict, who beats their wife. I love those books. I think they just make me feel better about myself.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, last year when it finally got cool, like fall and during spooky season, I listened to a lot of like cozy romance. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that again. Get into something feels better during this shitty time that we're going through.
Definitely. Yeah. We gotta do whatever we can. And I had a thought, and it came back around, and I want to say this to you about Dungeon Crawler Carl, or about anything else. Yes. This isn't just for Liza, this is for all of us. You're shaming yourself for re-listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl because you have a to-be-read list. And you've made some sort of rule for yourself, and I understand this because I make stupid rules. You made a stupid rule for yourself that you are now having guilt and shame about enjoying something. You're not killing puppies, Liza. You're listening to a book series that brings you joy and enjoyment. So screw it. Listen to Dungeon Crawler Carl for the rest of your effing life.
I know. And stupid books that I think I'm supposed to get to. Ugh, I know. You're right, Melissa.
It's my lecture.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for attending my TED Talk.
I did. I needed to hear it. All right.
So, Buffy, these 2 seasons... we're going to get the college years, the real awkwardness and lostness of the college years, God tier level battles. It's and some really dark, real life kind of stuff. Some of it actual that happens, and some of it more of a, there's a lot of metaphors for addiction in these 2 seasons.
Yeah, I think so. And the seasons to come after that as well. It's crazy coming. Yeah. So I told you guys last week, and I told you, Melissa, last week. So this was actually my very first time watching seasons 4 and most of season 5. I had seen some of season 5, but I mean, I had not ever seen season 4. I know that for sure. So I'd never seen Riley. I'd never seen her in college like this. So this is all new to me. This is very interesting for me.
It's very interesting. And I feel like this is one of the few shows, and maybe the only show that I've seen, where it starts out they're going to go to college, and as we talked about last episode, everybody's going to Sunnydale.
Yeah, of course.
You see Sunnydale, except Xander's not going to college, but nobody went away. Everybody's still here, except Cordelia, who moved to LA and is now on Angel.
Yeah, that's right.
And I feel like it really portrayed, especially like in the first couple of episodes, how confusing college is and how overwhelming.
Yeah, it did. I agree with you.
Like, when you show up on that first day for orientation and you're trying to find your class and find out what classes you got.
Right. Because
you stupidly, you little frosh, you thought that list of classes you chose, you were actually going to get them.
Yeah, right.
No. No.
I
And then
know.
you find out that no, old upperclassmen have priority. No, you can't.
And honestly, I don't understand how adults aren't better than they are, because all my guidance counselors and school counselors and college counselors, horrible. They never told me anything. I showed up to my college that I had already paid for, thinking that I was going into journalism, because that was what I had picked for my major. And I got there and they said, we don't have journalism school here. No one had told me that until my first day of college. And so within 5 minutes of standing there talking, I picked a different major I'd never thought about, never heard of. No one advised me. No, like, that's how crazy college is. And I'm sure that everybody probably was supposed to hate Kathy. It's Kathy, right? Her roommate. I thought those 2 episodes with Kathy were so funny. I don't know if that was just me. Those really were funny to me. I'm like, this is pretty good.
Oops, sorry, everybody. I just hit that with a glass. I actually thought it was really cool when she's like, "Don't you just love Celine?" And Buffy's reaction was curious to me, because you went away to college.
Yeah.
To meet new people, have new experiences. One of those, which is why I never went away to college, everyone. Yeah. One of those experiences is having a roommate that is someone you've never met.
Yeah,
You're going to live intimately with a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Especially in those
did you go away
did.
to college?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a stranger as a roommate?
Mm-hmm. I did.
What was that like?
Weird. It's so weird. And I don't think people, I mean, I guess sometimes dorms in some places can be big and nice, but most of the time dorms are like a closet. Like, you're living in like the conditions that kids go to college in. I mean, it's unreal. And so you're really like, close with these kids.
They're like, prison
and my dorms
cells,
were co-ed.
without bunk beds.
My dorms were co-ed,
yeah.
not like roommates co-ed, but the floors and everything were co-ed. So, I mean, you're in there showering. You're like, sure hope nobody walks in on me while I'm showering in here. It's crazy.
I could never
gross.
do that. I just could never do it. So I felt like it was
Buffy
really
was an only child. I mean, up to this point, Buffy was an only child. So I think probably that is how she would have reacted to having anybody in her living space.
Yeah, but it was just so, I was like, well, like, it almost was like it surprised her to get a roommate that she wasn't going to get along with. I'm like, what were you thinking was going to happen, Buffy? Yeah. Especially being, such an unusual person with an unusual life. Right. You're not going to relate to anybody if they're not Willow, Xander, Anya, or somebody. Yeah. Like that first year of college, can I just say, fuck Parker.
Oh, God.
Parker is the player. He's so awful.
And when he comes in, though, he's so cute, right? Like this cute little college guy that she's like, oh, look at his cute dimples and his brown eyes. He's so sweet. And then
the first time I watched it, I knew Parker because I had a Parker.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure everybody.
My freshman year. Yeah. And I bet you every woman who went to college knows a Parker.
Of course.
And that's just, and I feel so bad because it's like the first time Buffy had sex, he turned into an evil demon version of himself. And the next time Buffy has sex is with Parker, who treats her like scum immediately after.
Yeah.
This poor girl.
And I think actually, though, what she went through with Parker is also a very typical experience for young girls right out of high school.
It really is. It is. It's unfortunately relatable.
Yeah.
Just like, I mean, the things that go on with Willow and Oz, the ending of relationships that were working for you in high school, but don't necessarily work for you in college.
And I hated seeing it. I really hated seeing what happened with Oz and Willow and with Veruca coming. And we started talking about that last week because I got confused about when that happened, but it does happen in season 4, right?
Yeah. And when Willow does, I mean, she's so broken, and Allison Hannigan acted it so well, and she's like, am I not enough for you?
Which mirrored what Buffy says to Angel, right? After their first time. But still, it was so hard to watch. And I think that's why it was such a good scene. It was just so hard to watch, and it was uncomfortable, especially knowing that she felt like she had no leg to stand on because of what had happened with her and Xander. And so she knows she'd already cheated on Oz, and he's like, yeah, I know how it feels. He told her that, right? Like, I'm aware. I know what it feels like. I know what you're going through. Oh, God.
Yeah. That hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, it did.
And Oz was such a nice guy.
He was.
Though. Like,
I love his
he was a legitimately nice guy, and I wish In that book that I was, in this book right here, folks, I'm all of, if anybody can find me other books about TV shows I love, because I'm loving reading, like the book about Lost, this one, the one I read about the Vampire Diaries, I read in like 2 days. I just devoured it. I love those. But they mention in here that it was Seth's choice to leave. Seth Green just wanted to do other things. He was getting offers, so he didn't sign on to continue to be a series regular. It wasn't like they wanted Oz. It just, he didn't want us.
Now, I did notice something interesting last night when I was looking back over the summary so I could kind of get back into where we were. Season 1 through 3, all the episodes, so what is that, like 66 episodes or more, were all written by Joss. And starting season 4, he didn't write any of those.
Yeah.
Somebody else wrote and directed every one of those. So they did feel really different.
And yeah, there's definitely a tonal shift that happens because of that. I think he started to work on, what did he have? Was Dollhouse his?
I don't know. I don't remember that. Like at that time of...
Yeah, he had another show, and then he did Firefly, and then he was expanding, and so the writing is definitely different. But I also kind of like that because, like, some people don't like the abrupt change from the high school years to college, but to me, it feels so real.
Yeah. And it somehow worked. A lot of times, TV shows just can't keep going once there's this huge shift or change, or they move or anything. People just check out, and that didn't happen with Buffy.
No. So a lot of things happen. So many things happen. So just to kind of like, we've got some highlights here. Season 4, you've got freshman college life. Then you've got the whole Oz and Willow, Oz with Veruca, and then he, Oz loses control, and then there's the breakup, and he decides to leave. And
well, do we have to assume that they were having like crazy werewolf sex?
I'm assuming that I always felt like it was kind of implied because
well, she implies it, but I'm like, but you guys were werewolves.
Yeah, so they just have doggy sex.
Yeah, I guess so.
Literally doggy style.
Right, I guess so. I guess that's what we were supposed to intuit from that. Werewolf sex. We see Faith briefly, and like I always forget that like before Faith
is in
comes
this
back,
season.
We have the whole Riley arc.
Oh yeah, okay. So you want to talk about? We have to introduce Riley.
We have to introduce Riley and his problems into this whole mix.
Riley. Which is great. Yeah. So what do you want to say about Riley?
Oh my God. Okay, well, here's the thing. You asked a question on TikTok, and there are so many opinions on Riley. I mean, it runs the gambit, right, of Riley. I personally think that someone like Riley is who Buffy needs, right? Like this milquetoast, plain, normal person who is going to love her. But Riley had so many of his own issues where he was jealous of her and jealous of Angel, and like he had so many internal issues. He could have been so good for her, and he just turned out to be garbage.
And it was kind of it was amusing because he was a psych major, and he doesn't even see, like, physician heal thyself, psychology major, see yourself in a book you're studying. My question really showed how much people didn't like Riley as a character, or thought he was like just a complete throwaway non-issue. So the question was, so there's this scene when he finally leaves where he basically gave Buffy an ultimatum, right? Yep. And then he's going to go get on his commando helicopter because, by the way, he's secretly a commando
or something
with the initiative or whatever the heck it's called. I can't even remember what it's called.
And the initiative.
The secret under the college lair where they're capturing all of the supernaturals and experimenting on them. And somehow Riley, who is like, what is he, like a senior or
I don't know.
College? He's like an RA. He's at the most, he's 23. At the most.
Yes, for sure.
He is
probably younger than that because he's supposed to still be in college because a TA is still an undergrad.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, he should be
he's a
less
commando.
than 21.
He's a highly trained, highly skilled military commando man who can capture They've got walkie-talkies. They've got
But they'd also been doing weird experiments on him, giving them drugs, and he had implants and things. So who knows? Who the hell?
I don't
I
know.
can tell you, I physically recoiled, like, on the episode where it shows Riley and Buffy having sex in his bedroom, and it pans out, and Professor Walsh is watching them do so on camera.
That is so...
I mean, I was like, oh, clutched my invisible pearls. I was so upset. Gross.
Yeah.
That woman.
Yeah. Just now, there. I mean, Professor Walsh is a horrible person.
She was.
I love the way they had her introduce her class because that's such a common college experience. Everybody has that asshole professor who doesn't give A's, and they walk in and they're all like, I'm gonna be hard on you because you suck. I know everything. I make the rules. Like, I had way too many of those professors who thought they were God. She literally thinks she's God because she's creating,
which is funny because that would be a 101 class, and no professor's like that in a fucking 101 class.
Well, some of them try it.
An initial class, like, who cares? Nobody cares. Those classes are so stupid anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So yeah, she was awful.
I forgot to finish the Riley story. So anyway, he gives her an ultimatum, and then she decides. Now there's a Xander involvement here.
Yes.
Did he tells her to go after him?
He gives a big speech about how awful she is to let him go. And it's his fault that she wasn't going to run after him. It's Xander's fault.
Xander's at the root of so many things that are bad. So she goes running, and there's like emotional music, and she's running to catch him before he gets on the helicopter. And she gets there too late, and the helicopter's taking off, and she's down there yelling. And from the very first time I saw it to every time I see it, and that's why I made the TikTok, I'm like, are we supposed to care? Am I supposed to be moved right now that Riley's leaving and she wasn't able to catch him? And what did the folks on TikTok have to say about that?
We don't care. I mean, so far and beyond, just we don't care. Good riddance. Bye, Riley. Don't come back. Nobody wanted you here in the first place. But there were some who were like, you know, I think most people were like, I hurt because Buffy was hurting. And she was. You know, Buffy really liked Riley, and she hurt that all that happened in that way. And...
Yeah. And I mean, and Riley, there's a lot of weird stuff that happened with Riley. And it is that once he starts becoming jealous of Angel, then he starts going to the demon bar and letting vampires
drink his blood.
Yeah.
Like, that's so strange. But that's what I say. He could have been good for her. You know, he's strong, and he's kind of normal and stable, and so he could have been something good for her. Instead, it was all about me. Poor me, and Buffy's so strong. And
again, I relate to that from a college perspective in that I think a lot of times, just in general in life, some of us pick the more exciting or dangerous, or because we were raised with trauma, we have daddy issues, we have self-esteem issues, so we pick the wrong people. And it's not until we get older or become more grounded in who we are, and then we realize that kind of, let's just pretend Riley was good, right? That kind of stable, supportive relationship is actually the one that's going to bring you the most happiness and joy overall, and just like you're going to feel secure in it. You're not always going to feel like you're on the wrong foot in it. You don't figure that out until later in life, I think.
For sure. And so to get back to your point, this is then when Faith comes in.
Yes. Oh.
This is when Faith comes in and swaps bodies with Buffy, and then goes and has sex with Riley because he's dumb.
I hate this trope. This trope happens in too many supernatural shows where there's some sort of body switching, and the man does not realize he's not having sex with his partner.
But it was very telling. Spike knew immediately. He was like, "You're not Buffy.
Yep.
You're not. You're not her."
I caught that too. I did. It was fun watching, and I wonder, it had to be fun as an actor for them both to try to play each other.
Yeah, I think
Because
so.
you're don't rub your body on the microphone, honey.
It was
makes
actually really
noise.
funny to me watching all the stuff that Faith said when she was Buffy.
Yeah. She was trying so hard to be, and then yeah, you know.
But once
Buffy
again,
definitely
Joyce
could not
didn't
pull off
notice.
Faith.
Joyce was like, she looks like Buffy to me.
I don't know what you kids are doing anymore.
Right.
Gonna go have some
Oh my
wine.
God.
They didn't show Joyce drinking a lot, but I
Oh.
think Joyce
For sure. That she had a box in her fridge.
she had a box of wine in the
For
fridge.
sure she did.
Connected it to the water dispenser, and she's just like, shh, okay.
You're right. She definitely had a box of wine in the fridge.
Yeah. And then Faith goes to LA.
Yeah.
And she goes to be on Angel and continues the redemption arc on Angel. So.
Yeah.
Oh. And
We
okay.
also have Tara come in during this season. This is when Tara and Willow start to form a relationship, a secret relationship.
a secret relationship that took way too long to get to the kissing part. But because they were gay.
Yeah.
They were lesbian.
Were they? I didn't get that from the
don't
subtext.
Right? Soup's like, wait, there's lesbians? I'm coming back. And I thought it was such a sweet relationship. And I did
was.
understand Willow, like, as Tara, I would have felt the same way. Like, are you ashamed of me?
Yeah.
Is that why you don't, like, why we're not hanging out with your friends and we're keeping it a secret? When they get the kitten.
Oh, yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
so cute. And then, but I understand Willow saying, like, I just really want to have something for me for a little while. And I get that. Because the witches in
Yeah.
all of the supernatural shows, they just become the workhorse. They're going to solve every problem. You're just like, oh,
Right.
but I've got a witch. I'm good.
Well, that was Willow's job from the beginning. She was the
Yeah.
hacker. She could find everything. She was the researcher. She was always the problem solver.
She's the Swiss Army knife of the show.
Yeah,
Like Desmond was the Desmond and Saeed were both Swiss Army knives for Lost. She's the Swiss Army knife for
Right.
this show. Yeah. But I love Tara, and she does eventually become a really great part of the group. And then
Yes.
when we, you know, it's interesting. This is really season 6 and 7 more, but Tara also becomes a really great stable influence for Dawn.
Yeah.
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 I love the way she is with Dawn, and I love the way they're
But
together.
Tara actually really, I mean, she is a stable influence for a lot of people. She keeps Buffy's secrets. Like when we find out Buffy's been sleeping with Spike, Tara's the only one who knows. And
I love Tara. I love
me
Tara.
too.
I love
But then
her very,
Oz has
very
to
much.
come back and make it really uncomfortable for everyone for just one episode.
But then, but I like that Willow, you know, chooses Tara because I think that was real for her.
yeah,
You know, I mean, we talked about it last episode that we're like, was Willow gay all the time? Yeah, she just didn't.
I
know.
think so. Yeah, and it was foreshadowed really early.
Yeah,
Really early in the series.
really early.
But I also think that they probably, I mean, I don't know that I'm right about this, but they probably didn't think that they could get away with that in the 90s with a high schooler. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
this was still the 90s. They probably didn't think they could get away with that storyline in 1997.
Probably. But now we've crossed over.
We're
in a
experimenting
new
in college.
Yeah, and that is how so many people figure out that they're gay.
Sure.
You know, and then some people are like, well, that was college, and now I'm going to go back to pretending I'm a heterosexual because that's less complicated for me.
So at the end of season 4, was this when they catch Adam? Is that what that was about? Isn't that what it was?
Yeah, so they do some sort of, like, they merge everybody's... Willow does a thing, she, like, merges everybody's powers, and that's how Buffy is able to defeat Adam.
Okay.
And Adam is so gross.
He is. I agree.
Because Adam was a commando who got killed, and then we find out that, you know, Professor Walsh is Frankensteining an Adam out of all different kinds of demons, and he's really gross looking.
Did we ever get an answer on why Professor Walsh was obsessed with Riley? She had a weird, like, sick obsession with him. Did we ever get anything? Did I miss it?
No, we never get told that, but I feel like she had a weird mommy fetish thing.
Maybe
Because
so.
when she starts making Adam, she starts talking about him like he's her son, and then like he kills her, doesn't he call her mommy when he kills her?
I think so.
And then we get the wonderfully gross scene where we find out that Adam has turned Professor Walsh into a walking zombie scientist.
Right.
It's so gross.
It is gross. He's also the first one, I think, he kills a child in this show. It's really, I was kind of shocked. I was like, oh, I didn't know we were going there.
Like that's a thing that happened. And then this is the season that, because of the initiative, I keep calling it, yes, it is the initiative. I think it's the initiative. So they capture Spike and they put a chip in his head, and then he manages to escape, but he can't hurt humans anymore.
Right. He can hurt demons.
It's so funny, that whole kind of watching him every time it happens. And it does become an important plot point later on in the show.
Yeah.
But it was a really interesting way to bring him into this story that's mostly about college and the initiative. He makes a comment, though, when he gets captured, and he's asking one of the other blokes in the other cell, and he's like, is this like a government thing or is it a Japanese cosmetic company? Right. He's trying to figure out what they're experimenting on them for. I know. That was funny.
But I kind of, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth that they were finally fine with Spike being who he was after he had that chip. Oh, well, now that you have that, now you can join us and help us out. It's like,
right, we're gonna forget all of the people you killed and the times you tried to kill all of us and Buffy. That happens a lot in supernatural shows.
Yeah.
Because fans like a character. And so that's how we end up with Spike becoming a Scooby.
Yeah. And he tries to keep telling her, no, I'm not a good person. I mean, I don't remember. I think it was in season 6, maybe. He was like, no, do you know what I've done to girls Dawn's age? No, I'm not a good person. Don't stop thinking of me like that.
Yeah. Yeah. But in season 4, he's just wandering around. Season 4 and 5, he's got the chip. And then
watching daytime TV in his crypt.
Yeah. Oh God. I love it. He tricks out his crypt. Yeah. He's got this great flat now. You know,
he was with Xander for a while, which is weird.
Yeah, he was living in Xander's basement.
Yeah,
because they didn't know what to do with him. And then Giles, you know, this created a writing challenge, because what's Giles gonna go be, the college librarian?
Right.
What is Giles gonna do? And they did eventually figure out how to, like, they got the magic shop. Okay, this is gonna be the home base where we keep all the books and the spells and all that stuff.
Magic shop.
It was so cute.
The funny thing to me was that through seasons 1 through 3, there was always a magic shop. Somebody had a magic shop. They were constantly going there, but every time we saw it, it was dark. There was no one in there. You kind of had to knock and go in, and you had to get things in secret. But now all of a sudden, Giles has a magic shop, and it's like freaking Walmart. I mean, there's got 1,000 people in there all day buying magic candles, I guess. Like, yeah. I mean, I know the 90s and, you know, the early 2000s were weird, but all of a sudden
I
he's
worked
just
in a magic
overrun.
Shop. It was an occult shop. Yeah. And people did used to come in, but you need to be in a place where you get foot traffic. Otherwise, you don't get the people who wander in curious. You only get the rare Wiccan who's like, I need sage now.
Right. Right.
So there's this episode, it's called A New Man, where Giles gets turned into a demon. And
yes,
he's got, like,
I actually really liked that episode a lot.
I love that episode.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
And he can't speak.
He can't speak English, right?
Right. He thinks he's speaking English, but he's really speaking some demon language, which luckily Spike speaks.
Right. Right.
But otherwise, yeah, it was, and everybody's terrified of him, and nobody realizes him, and it's interesting because it, like, you know, wow, heavy-handed metaphor much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
him
but
not
I like
knowing
that
who he
episode
is.
a lot because Buffy's like, oh, you're Giles. I could see your eyes.
Yeah. Yes. I love
really
that
sweet. moment.
And it's like, yeah, because he's her dad. And then there's another fun, I don't know if it's fun or if it's cringy for you. It's where he's playing guitar, like in the coffee shop or whatever. He's like doing
guitar.
open mic time, you know? And all of a sudden, swear to God, never thought never was attracted to Giles before. Put him on stage with a guitar, and I'm like, oh, now you have me interested.
Well, that's so funny because weren't all the girls that came in and saw him, they were like, oh.
Yes. And Buffy and Willow were like, ew, it's Giles.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But he's really, he goes through a lot with the kids for these 2 seasons. And then the Watchers Council is all of a sudden very concerned about Buffy, and he has to fight them. And he takes her side over the Watchers Council, which...
Yeah. I know.
Thank you.
Well, he's always going to take Buffy's side.
And then just to tease sort of where season 5 leaves off... Swan dive. But so I love that. I love the swan dive. So Buffy stupidly is going to let Glory live.
Oh yeah, we haven't even gotten to Glory yet.
We haven't even gotten to Glory yet.
We haven't even gotten to season 5 yet, I guess. We're still in season 4.
But I'm just, you know what? I was jumping ahead in my Giles, my Gilesisms, because he when he kills Ben. Right, basically, Ben's like kind of could be helped. He was alive, and he like basically suffocates him. And he's like, he says something along the lines like, "She's a good person."
Yeah, she won't do that.
We're not, meaning him and Men. He's like, "Yeah, we're not. I'm just gonna kill you." And I don't know if he ever told Buffy that he did that.
No, as far as I know, he did not.
Yeah,
as far as I know. Well, Anya came in. We did talk about her last week because she came in season 3, right? And she was even Xander's prom date.
Yeah, and then season 4, she's got a lot more prominent role. She starts working at the magic shop, and I see her as like the Spock character, who is really nowadays is the autistic coded character, the person who doesn't understand what people are doing. So they're like the Greek chorus.
Yeah.
If anybody knows about Greek drama from ancient Greece, they had these people called the chorus who used to come out on stage to explain to you, like they were the exposition people. Game of Thrones did it while people were having sex. The Greek chorus would just walk out on stage, sing a little ditty about what's going on in the story, and then disappear. Nowadays, we have the autistic Spock character who has to be very confused by human behavior.
Right.
So they can exposit on human behavior.
Yeah. I love Anya, though. I like the fact that she just couldn't get enough of Xander is still funny.
So weird. Shows you that demons just do not have taste.
No, they don't.
Yeah, so she starts her relationship with him. She becomes more of an integral part of the Scoobies.
Now,
and she's amazing comic relief.
Remind me what happened to Anya. Like, how did she lose her Anyaka powers? I know she had to be stuck at Sunnydale because she messed up with Cordelia and Willow's wishes, and so she was stuck there.
Oh, that is when she lost her powers. Okay. Is in the episode The Wish. So when she's originally, so the whole time she's in the Scoobies and has a relationship with Xander, she's not a demon.
Right.
That's what it is.
A former demon. That is when Harmony came in as season 4, and I love her. I said that last week. I love Harmony. She's such a good character.
I love her so much, and she's doing this thing that's a very familiar journey where she's trying to become an empowered woman. From coming from a completely different life, which I think Harmony was like a Cordelia spoiled brat.
Right.
Yeah, right. So we meet her in the very first episode.
Right.
She's one of the mean girls. She's spoiled. She's this, she's that. Now she's a vampire, and she's trying to figure out how to live on her own. And this was a time where we were, believe it or not, trying to empower women.
Yeah.
There was a time when we did that still.
Yep.
I don't know that we're doing that anymore. But yeah, and she's so funny. And then she ends up in a relationship with Spike.
Well, much to her detriment.
Yes.
Harmony's just funny every time
Poor
she comes
Harmony.
on screen.
By the way, I don't know if you know this, Liza, but did you ever wonder where Harmony ended up?
I was literally just about to say that. What happened? Like, where is she now?
She becomes the receptionist at Wolfram and Hart, who's the evil law firm in Angel.
Is that right? Okay.
So we meet Harmony again. I love that she stayed with us because she was a great character.
Yeah, good for her.
She was a really fun character. Season 5 opens with the biggest jaw-dropping, what the actual fuck moment
Yeah.
I feel like on television, I'm going to go big here. This is bigger than anything that happened on Lost.
Okay.
All of a sudden, Buffy goes into her bedroom, and there's Dawn, and she's like, what are you doing? And I told you to stay out of my stuff. And then they both yell, Mom! And we're all like, what?
And let me
You don't
say,
know the first time. It's like, what?
Yeah, let me say, so when I watched it back when, and I missed all this, so when I came back in, I just assumed, you know, because I wasn't paying attention back then at all. I didn't care. I assumed Dawn had been there. Okay, this is a character. So I didn't know anything. So when she came in, and I was like, hold up. What's going on? What do you mean? What are you talking about? What is happening? Who is this? Why is she here?
Dawny.
So even after, 20 years, I was still like, wait a minute. Where did she come from?
It's just, I mean, everybody's memories were altered so that they have memories of Dawn as a child, which is a little weird because
they did not fix this. They did not tell you what was going on for like 10, 11 episodes. It wasn't like, oh, we figured it out. No, we didn't get what was happening for a while.
It was a massive Cousin Oliver moment. Because you're thinking, you're the whole time you're like, did they do this just to have a teenager in the show? Are they too old now? Because is there going to be a spin-off where Dawn goes to a haunted high school? Because by the way, where the fuck was Dawn going to high school? Where did they move all the high schools to? Because that was a big high school.
Yeah, it was. It's
gone.
They were in those trailers. You know how they have the extra trailers when something happens? They do that down here. Like when there's a tornado, then all of a sudden everybody's going to high school in a trailer. So what did you guys think when you watched it in real time? Because obviously this was my first time seeing this episode. What did everybody do back then?
Yeah, we want to know what you thought. I know what I thought. I was pissed.
Were you pissed?
I was pissed because I thought they were going to Cousin Oliver us.
And you kept watching, though. You didn't stop watching.
It's Buffy. It's Buffy.
But I mean, I wonder, did a lot of people stop watching when this happened? Like, oh, this has gone off the rails too much for me. I can't do this. Like,
I wonder. Is there anybody out there that stopped watching because of it? I know that Dawn was a polarizing thing in the fandom back then.
Sure.
But, you know.
And especially because anybody who goes head to head with Buffy, I think you don't like, because you just love Buffy. She really is lovable, right? I mean, you just really love Buffy. And all of a sudden you have this character that she doesn't like, and she's a brat, and you don't really like her, and she's not helping Buffy, and she's not helping her situations or anything going on. And so, yeah.
And I think she's 14.
She's 14.
So she's 14.
When it starts, she's 14.
So, I mean... You know,
and I heard that they wrote her as 10 years old, right? But they liked Michelle.
That was they liked Michelle, and also that was not gonna work.
We do get this little episode where Buffy has kind of turned into herself, gone internal, and Willow goes in, and it's little Buffy, and she sees the day they bring Dawn home, and she looks like she's maybe 3-4 years old in that episode. She's really little, but she's supposed to be adult. The adultier adult for Dawn.
It is television, and we, television. They always just fudge. They found an older actor, then they're like, okay, we're just gonna do this. And I mean, God rest her soul, Michelle Trachtenberg, who died this year. Yep. Still very, very young. And she was such a good actor from such a young age.
Yeah, she did Dawn really well.
She did.
You really believe this bratty side of this kid.
Yeah. Because she shows the other side too. You know, she really embodied that I'm a teenager, I have no idea.
Yep, she really did. She really did.
So we survived the first year of college. And then we go to season 5 where, pretty much like every show, they go to college for like a year. Yeah. The story takes place around college life, school, and all of those things. And then the second year that they're in college, you don't see as much college.
Yeah, only Willow and Tara are still in college. Buffy's like, I don't guess I'm doing this anymore.
She's like, I didn't do real good in this. And then this is where the real world and real life starts to come into Buffy in a big, big way. Yeah. And I think a lot of people dislike the later seasons of Buffy because they're darker.
Do they really? I've
There's a
really
lot of
been
people who
enjoying
don't,
these.
They don't like
episodes.
the darkness.
Okay,
They
I
really
mean that makes
don't.
sense to me, but I like it. I like these episodes. a
Don't
lot.
be bringing real life. My mom has an aneurysm and has to have brain surgery into my vampire TV show.
Yeah.
And there's this scene. So Buffy's mom gets, she finds out she's got an aneurysm, and while they're waiting,
She has
for
a tumor, right?
it's a tumor. Oh, she dies from an aneurysm, but she has a tumor.
has a tumor.
Right? So the brain tumor starts to make her. Buffy is now in this situation where her mother is not entirely competent
Right.
to make decisions. So Buffy has to and they did such a good job of a Sarah Michelle Gellar deer in the headlights while the doctors, like, she's going to take her mom home, and the doctors start telling her, oh, she's going to need to take 2 of these and we're 3 of these, she's going to need to do this, do that, and you need to take her for these tests and all this stuff. And Buffy's just like,
And honestly, what an American scene. What a vastly American scene where you want to take your mom home from brain surgery, like out of the hospital, because that's a better place to be than the hospital in America. Like,
yeah. Oh, because she would have gotten sick. I mean, it was smart to bring her home and then send her back for the surgery.
Also,
and nowadays you don't get to stay in the hospital. They send you the hell home.
The Sunnydale Hospital is a dangerous place to be. You know what I mean? Like, that place is constantly overrun with demons and scary people and aliens and all sorts of stuff going on in the Sunnydale
a lot
Hospital.
of stuff there. Yeah. So there's that scene where Joyce is not making any sense. Dawn's being just a pain. Everything is going, and Buffy's in the kitchen, and for some reason she puts on the radio and it's mariachi music.
Yes, I remember.
And she turns it up really loud.
Yes.
And she's washing the dishes and sobbing hysterically. And on a rewatch, not this rewatch, the one before, or different rewatch, maybe the one before the one before this. I saw it. I should have stopped. My mom was dying. She was in a nursing home. She was really, really sick, and I knew that I had months, maybe a year.
Yeah.
And she was starting to have moments where she was getting a little loopy on me, and sometimes, like, she would have just brief moments.
Yeah.
Just, and God, Buffy and I had such a good cry in that scene.
Oh, I bet.
That whole, she's just like, everybody is, and she's got to hold it together. And not only does she have to hold it together for her mom and Dawn, meanwhile, fighting demons, killing vampires.
One of her
Glory,
the biggest she's ever had. Her
Yes.
biggest big bad up to this point, I think, was Glory. Kind of the first time she was really maybe not going to be able to fix the situation.
And that's how they meet Ben, because Ben's in the hospital when her mom first gets sick.
But there's somebody, and I don't remember now who it was, if it was Willow or it was Dawn, but somebody says, "You never even cry about mom." And she's like, "Yes, I did. A lot." Or maybe it was Riley. It was somebody said that to her.
Yeah.
Because she did it by herself in the kitchen with the music loud, so nobody would see that happening.
I mean,
a lot of us do it in the shower. So nobody
shower.
sees that.
I have a nice area of the basement that I find to be a good place to go if I don't want my husband to hear me, because if he hears me making the loud sniffle noise,
What's wrong?
and he's going to ask me what's wrong.
Yeah.
So Glory.
Holy shit. Glory. Man. That was a lot of people's favorite big bad, and I get it. She was
Actor
bad.
who portrays her, whose name I have forgotten.
Number one.
Her name is Claire Kramer.
Okay.
Yes. First of
Gorgeous.
all, I have a huge girl crush on her.
So pretty. And she wore the best, again, like I
Smoking.
said last week about it being like this little time capsule of 90s fashion. She wore the best early 2000s outfits. Like, this is what women were wearing to the club. I'm like, I had that one time. I had that dress one time.
Wow.
And the hair, that was what my hair looked like.
Oh, I loved her hair so
that's what
much.
my hair-
I
I did
always
that.
wanted long curly hair. I do not have long.
I have it, man.
She was so good, and she's one of those lovable big bads because she's so funny. And then
She
she's
is.
got those little toady
Her
guys.
minions.
Her minions. And they're so hysterical, and they have to use all of, like, they call her her name is Glorificus. And
Glorificus.
they so over your blessed worshipfulness who is more beautiful than the sun. Like, it's so funny. It's
And then
so
with the weird
good.
knights that come in for some reason.
But they were the ones who were supposed to be protecting the key.
Because we don't know that Dawn is the key that Glory is looking for, of course, to end the world. The apocalypse, to bring about the apocalypse. Dawn is the key, which makes her very sad. Makes Dawn sad when she finds out she's the key. Yes. My favorite line, though, is in that season, Joyce looks at Buffy. She's like, she's not mine, is she? I'm like, She realized one of her moments of psychosis that, oh, you're not my kid, right?
Well, because whatever magic they did happened in her brain.
And what a mind fuck that would be, to have a daughter that you love and then just all of a sudden go, who are you? You're not mine.
You're not mine. Who are you? Yeah, that is... And I felt bad for Dawn when she found out. That's pretty bad.
But every time Dawn finds out something terrible, her instinct is she runs away.
Yes.
She runs away and gets in herself in trouble.
Yes. And then causing Buffy to have to go worry some more.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then go find her. And then, it's a lot of trouble. And Dawn she's a big pain in the ass.
She is. She really is. I mean, God love her, but she is.
Not. Yeah. Just a huge pain in the ass. What was Glory trying to do again?
I mean, I guess that dimension was going to open and bring about... What was it she was trying to do?
I don't know. I just know that when it started to happen, all of these like portals from other hell dimensions
that was what she was going to open every hell dimension at once, but I don't know what that would have done for her. I'm sure it told us.
But I'm sure she villain monologued us. I just don't remember what the villain monologues. So Glory had a plan, but she needed the key.
The key. Which somehow had been turned into Dawn.
Yeah. Right, because these monks who were protecting the key for conceivably thousands of years.
I guess.
Now that Glory's here, they decided to put the key somewhere where it would be protected, which would be to create a teenage girl, put her in Sunnydale, California, the hellmouth.
Demon Central.
And have the Slayer watch over her.
Yeah, but explain to me, since that was the case, why were they always trying to kill them? Like, why were those knights constantly trying to kill them when they were the ones who were trying to protect the key in the first place?
This is the weird thing about season 5 and Glory and Dawn, is that we love Glory.
Yeah.
As a big bad because of the actor doing such an incredible job and some really great writing. But the actual plot of season 5 makes no sense.
It was super funny, the reveal that Ben was Glory. When we finally get that reveal. And funny enough, the actor and actress look very similar.
They look like they could be siblings. I thought that was good casting
fraternal
on the
twins.
part of
like
finding...
they look like you would believe that. And when you finally get that reveal, you're like, oh, so now we have another guy that Buffy's interested in, who once again is not good for her.
Poor
Just
Ben.
terrible taste. Yeah.
Poor Ben. And Ben was like such a nice guy
until he wasn't.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
I mean, so that turned on a dime. Like, he was really a nice guy, and then it just turned on a dime that he was like, well, I guess I'll save myself.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? I wanted this to save everybody, but I guess I. So season 5, a lot of things happened to our characters in season 5.
This is the season where finally Spike falls in love with Buffy.
Yes. And it's very surprising to him.
Yeah. Very surprising to everyone, I suppose.
Yeah, I think so. But like it starts with him having like sex dreams.
Yeah, my favorite thing is that every time someone finds out, they're like, gross. Like every single time, they're like, what? Ew.
Ew. I know. And so she's got the, all right, she's trying to deal with college. She's got this sister. She finally decides that, okay, regardless of what the hell is going on here, Dawn is my sister. She is my family. And so we're going to treat her like that. She has an interesting conversation, like where Spike tells her about how he killed the other Slayers.
Yeah. Yeah. And we even see it, right? They show us the scenes.
Yeah. And,
That's why when we get to next week, I figured that out long before they revealed it because I'm like, we saw that in season 5.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we're like, oh, wait. Yes.
Yeah.
This is why the season ends where it ends, is because she starts to really accept that the Slayer has no future.
Yeah.
The Slayer will die. And
Yeah.
so she has the... also, like, she sees the first Slayer.
Yeah, that weird episode with all the nightmares. She sees the first.
The first Slayer, which we later find out is just a young girl who a bunch of men, basically tortured and forced her to go kill demons because they were too to do it themselves.
Right. That's what Buffy says. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just watched that recently. Yeah.
Yeah. So she goes through that, right? And then her mom gets sick, and her mom dies.
Well, so there's the most throwaway of throwaway episodes. Yeah. So there's this literally a throwaway episode where this nerd, Warren, who honestly I can't stand Warren, makes a sex doll. Like, what a weird episode to just plop in the middle of this season.
Yes.
Okay, we have a Monster of the Week episode all of a sudden in the middle of this arc. Okay, whatever.
Okay.
And so it's kind of a throwaway episode. And then all of a sudden, in the last 30 seconds, Buffy walks into her house and she goes, Mommy? And Joyce is laying there wide-eyed, eyes open. And it ended and I went, are you kidding me right now with this?
They did some really great, right? Like the season starts with Mom, and we're all like, what the fuck? And then the body, which is, I think, one of the best episodes on TV.
Yeah. I also can't imagine you guys waiting a week or two or however many between that stupid sex doll episode where Joyce dies at the very end and then the next one.
Yeah. And I think what, like, from my perspective, I assumed there was going to be a supernatural fix to this.
Of course.
Which Dawn tries to do.
Yes.
There's that whole episode where Dawn tries to resurrect her mom using witchcraft.
Yeah.
And they tell us, they actually told us some important stuff. That you really shouldn't do that because, and isn't it Spike who tells her whatever comes back, she isn't your mom.
She isn't your mom. And in that episode, we have Joel Grey playing the demon. And I was like, oh!
Yes! I thought
excited.
of you on rewatch this time.
I was so excited with Joel Grey. And he ends up being a big bad as well by the end of this season.
Yes, he does. He does. And so the body. I think I talked about this in one of our, because the body is one of those deaths that haunts us.
Deaths that haunts us, yeah.
And maybe Joyce dying wouldn't have haunted me if this episode hadn't been so brutally accurate.
Right. I mean, honestly, losing Joyce was not a big heartbreak, honestly. But Buffy's heartbreak was heartbreaking. Oh, my God.
And her like, she went into shock.
Yeah.
And there was criticism at the time, because there were people who loved to call Sarah Michelle Gellar wooden. They always liked to say her acting was wooden. I never found it.
Yeah, me neither.
I see her sometimes as a character. She's more stoic because she's the Slayer.
Yeah.
But her acting in that, I mean, how would you react if you walked in? And
but I don't like
anytime
anyone criticizes anyone in real life or on TV when there's a death, because everyone reacts differently to death and trauma, and there's not one way that people are.
Yeah, there just isn't, and that was it's such a quiet episode in a lot of ways. They did a lot of really nice things with allowing silence in the script between characters. There's not that rapid fire dialogue because there's no silence on Buffy.
Yeah.
But they really allowed all of the emotions and shock to breathe.
Yeah. And
it's just brutal. And we get I believe it's out of Dawn's death that we get the first
Joyce's
death, where we get like the first time that Spike is like trying to be nice.
Yeah. And he liked Joyce, remember?
He did.
He had a good relationship with Joyce for some weird reason.
Yeah. But see, that's where it all starts. like a little bit, in that she actually takes a little bit of comfort in him just being like, I'll just sit here.
Yeah. That episode is so good, though, because we see everyone's grief as they find out. Because Joyce was the mom of the group. Everybody has shitty parents. And she was a mom. And so we see everyone's grief in turn. And Giles' grief in turn. And he was like, oh, God. Like, oh,
and he's
dear.
like, oh, God, I banged her twice that
well, yeah. But also, like, now what for Buffy? I mean, you can see Giles is like, oh,
Yes.
dear. Like, now what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a really interesting episode. And then her having to tell Dawn at school. Oh, so bad. Just so bad.
And filmed so well.
It was. Yeah, I really think it was done well. I don't understand the criticism of that episode. So
Yeah. And so that is that kind of what is that? That's like is that like the middle of the
It's the middle, because that's, like I said, that's when that
season.
weird episode with Warren's girlfriend comes in. It's the middle.
And then and because of what Warren does in this season,
Freaking
then
Warren.
Warren. Oh God, what a Jesus! If
Do you
anyone
know
deserved what
in
happens
some
to him,
people?
it's him.
Oh my God, what happens to Warren when we get
It's
there?
horrible. I
Next week?
can't wait to
Good
talk about it
Lord.
next week.
Anyway, but there was
Anyway.
people in that TikTok where you asked who's your favorite non-Scooby, not even your favorite Big Bad, and people said Warren. More than one person. There was more than one. Like,
Did they
who's-
mean Jonathan or Andrew?
Whose favorite is Warren?
Warren's a horrible human being.
He's awful in every way.
He's the worst of the three of those guys.
Right.
Is Warren.
Yes.
So
Anyway,
yeah.
sorry.
So Spike is like, oh, so you can make robot girls. You're gonna make me a girl.
Let me give you my specs. Yeah.
Buffy Bot is born.
Yeah, man.
I have a special place in my heart for Buffy Bot.
Yeah.
She really tried.
She did. And she came back for a few episodes until she was brutally pulled apart, right?
Poor Buffy. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about Buffy Bot in our next episode. But that's so fucked up, but also so Spike.
Yeah, it really is.
Remember, Spike's a vampire
And a
He's
bad guy.
Demon. He's a
Has
bad
no
guy.
soul.
He has no soul. So the
doesn't
Buffy
care.
bot made complete and total sense to
Totally.
Spike. He's like, oh wait, I can shag Buffy without shagging Buffy? All right.
Excellent. And she won't beat me up in the process. Okay.
Only a little bit, only as much as he wants her to
Right.
beat him up. It's
Yeah.
really...
But that's what caused the little minions to see how devoted Buffy was to Spike, and so they kidnap Spike thinking he's the key.
You know, Giles is trying to kind of fill a hole that Joyce left in some way.
Right.
And I don't think we get to the financial problems till the next season.
Not next season. It's the next season.
I think we're just, you know, we're just trying to deal with glory right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, in season 5, we do have Tara's family come to town, which are this weird kind of, it implies that they're religious, but it doesn't say that they're religious. And her dad's this weird, you know, you're a demon.
Yeah, we
but
do. Yeah,
she's really not a demon, but he's convinced her all her life that she was a demon.
Why? So I've watched the show a million times, and I'm still always trying to figure out, did her mom just go through perimenopause? And they thought that that's when she became evil.
I get it,
Or,
man.
like, I'm like, your mom, you know, your
I
mom
think it's
changed
just
and all this
religious
stuff.
psychosis, and
Yeah.
he was abusive and abused her mom and ended up killing her, and you
Like,
know.
and then, and you know, but I think that I wonder if maybe her mom did have some powers.
Could be.
Because they seem to indicate, the way they use the term Wicca on Buffy
Right.
is more that almost like a Wicca is a supernatural being, not
Right.
a person who has chosen Earth religion.
Yeah, and we know that Tara
And
has
magic.
powers before Willow recognizes her own.
Right. So I think that whatever happened with Tara's mom did involve her powers.
Sure.
And that's why I said, did she go through perimenopause and she just didn't give a shit anymore? And she was like, cook dinner, you know, empty the litter box. Like,
Leave
is
me
that when he
alone?
decided
Yeah.
she was a demon? Did he
For
not
sure.
know all along that his wife was a Wicca? I don't know. Not only does Willow, like, stand up
Yeah.
for her. But the rest of the Scoobies sort of finally accept Tara, I feel like.
And that's really when they come out as well.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yep. And I love the scene where there's the official conversation between Buffy and Willow, where Willow essentially comes out to Buffy. I don't know if young people watching it today would find Buffy's initial reaction offensive.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I don't know if we redid it today, if we would have that moment where Buffy was like, and then she sits down and she's like, if you're happy, I'm happy. Like but she has a moment where she's like, I don't know how to feel about this. What am I supposed to say?
Right.
Holy shit. And I think nowadays, if your best friend, you would just be like,
have that reaction.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh man, that's great. And you and Tara, oh, that's awesome. Like, I don't know if young people today would be as thrown as Buffy was.
I don't think it was offensive. I do think it was probably how people would have reacted back then. But yeah, I don't think it would have gone that way today as well.
Because I don't think it was a homophobic reaction. It was just but yeah. It does
also,
come off a little weird.
in Buffy's, mind, she had been with Oz. So in her mind, Willow was a heterosexual.
And she had been in love with Xander like her whole
life. Yeah.
So, yeah. Yep. Towards the end of the season, she actually has the first time where she loses control while using magic, while she's trying to fight Glory. And that's our first red flag that, maybe this isn't the good thing that we all think it is.
Yeah, she just gets more and more powerful. And this is when we also start to see that Giles is like, maybe this is not that great.
Yeah. Right. You need to be careful. They have this thing that they use in, there's some Buffyisms in their supernatural world.
Right.
One of them is calling people a Wicca. And another one is they use, and because it's British, magics. It's kind of like magics. You know how in Britain it's maths?
Maths.
In the UK it's maths, not math. And they think we're weird for calling it math. And we think they're weird for calling it maths. I feel the same way about magics.
Magics.
Oh, Xander. So Xander, remember he was...
there he is.
There he is, yeah. So when we ended season 3, Xander was planning to... Because he didn't get into college.
around the... Yeah.
Yep. Going to go Jack Kerouac. It turns out, and this is kind of funny, and I did like some of the humor around this. He didn't get very far because the engine died in his car, so he ends up being a busboy in a male strip club.
Yeah, I like that.
And I love it for Xander.
Yeah.
Just, that's like great. So he's lost while in his own way. He's like trying to figure out, well, what am I doing if I'm like, what am I doing to make money?
He lives in that basement for a while. They keep him down in that basement for a long time.
Yep. Yeah.
And honestly, when he finally got out, and I don't remember what season it is, it's season 5 or 6, when he finally gets out of the basement and into that apartment, and I'm like, you can tell this was the early 2000s because nobody with a part-time job like he had at 21 years old in 2025 would be able to get an apartment by themselves and get out of the parents' basement. Not right now. Now, as much as Xander is consistently a jackass, I'm almost done. He stays a jackass. Okay, he's a jackass all the way through season 7. We do see him mature a lot. Lot. From the first 3 seasons to now, season 4 and 5. Yeah. We see him grow up a whole lot.
He does. He does.
It's not great, but he does grow up a lot.
But he starts to... He has his first, like, real relationship with Anya. Yeah. And it's a grown-up relationship because Anya's very... first of all, she's very forthright, and she's demanding, and she's not going to take shit.
Right.
And he also knows that she's the best thing that ever happened to him.
Sure.
So he tries. He
tries.
He does have some growth. There is some growth. So by season 5, he's finally like, he's starting to work. I think he's in construction. Oh, isn't he helping to build the new Sunnydale High at some point? Yeah. There's an episode. Does it happen in season 5 where he gets split like into
the doppelganger?
Successful Xander and loser Xander. Mm-hmm. And Anya
and let me tell you,
successful Xander.
I fully believed before before the plot was revealed that these were both sides of Xander. I fully believed that loser Xander was the real Xander.
So did I. Didn't we all?
I mean, I was like, yeah, that's him. There he is.
That's him. And it shows that I guess I don't know what it shows. I think it shows that I guess they were trying to tell us that there's more to Xander than we.
I suppose. I mean, I guess Joss was writing by this point again, wasn't he?
He probably. I'm sure he informed some of Xander's stuff because Xander still sounds an awful lot like Joss sometimes.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Who else? What's else? So yeah, we talked about Spike. He's got the Buffy bot going.
Then we have this weird episode where they go on a road trip in a weird RV with Spike driving.
This episode, yes, because they have to all get out. They're all trying to get out of Sunnydale, so
and it's very Mad Max-ish,
yes.
And he's got the tinfoil so he can see through without getting the sun. And I'm like, how does that work in this big RV? And it's really an old like 80s RV, and they that's a very weird episode. It is weird. It was weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's when Giles and Spike almost die. They get really injured.
Yeah.
In this, and they finally learn that Ben
Weren't
is
they battling
Glory.
the Knights, though?
The Knights. Yeah, the Knights. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Why were the Knights trying to kill them when
because I think they wanted, but I think they wanted to kidnap Dawn. But I don't understand because they're the ones,
right?
Or unless it was the monks that made Dawn the key, and the Knights want control of the key. That's the only way I can think that this works.
I don't know, and I just watched it all, so I don't know.
That's sad.
There was a lot of fighting.
You wrote it badly.
There was a lot of fighting.
You wrote it badly when we don't understand why.
And they finally, the Scoobies finally learned that Ben is Glory.
Yay!
And then they forget that Ben is Glory. And then remember Ben is Glory.
Funniest bit.
Ben's Glory.
It is so good. I giggle every time. And there's one where Xander does this whole thing, and he does this big long explanation, and he's like, and then he's almost there. He's almost figured out that Ben and Glory are the same person. But that's not where he goes.
Right.
That was a great bit. I love that bit.
Who was it who could see it? Was it Anya who could see it? Because somebody could see it because they weren't influenced by it.
Yeah. So they knew. Who was it?
It was either Spike or Anya.
Might have been Spike because he couldn't, because he was a vampire, he couldn't be
Mm-hmm.
snowed or something.
Right.
Or, like controlled with the not
Somebody
knowing
could see
or...
through it. They were like, oh, come on. Obviously.
I think it is him. I think it is because I remember there's a frustration moment with Spike where he's like, bloody hell, how do you, like, what do you,
We have to keep talking about Riley. We do.
We do. Well, he gets a chip removed.
Honestly, if you want to talk about Riley, I was so angry. I mean, if you can be angry at Riley about a lot of things, I was so angry at Riley because he was there when Joyce died. He was there and saw how devastating her surgery and everything was on Buffy, and still made it all about him going to these vampire dens and being an asshole and being like, still made everything about himself because he wasn't going to be good enough for Buffy. And she's grieving.
Maybe there's some core issues with Riley that made him join the initiative in the first place.
Sure, of course there were.
So we're coming. We're coming, I guess, to the end of season 5.
Season 5.
And like, as if losing Joyce wasn't bad enough, we find out. And at the last possible minute, so Joel Grey got Dawn up on the
with
scaffold.
his lizard tail for some reason.
Yes! Oh my God. It looked like he was really enjoying that role, didn't it?
Yeah, of course. He's so good.
And so basically, Dawn has to die because they need her blood.
Mm-hmm. So they have her like up on this weird thing, this scaffolding thing.
And he's bleeding her. So
like whether she dies or not, they got to bleed her out.
Yeah, and then the portals are starting to open, and it's really kind of a very cool. Yeah, are the special effects old? Yeah, but it's still really cool.
Yes,
and there's a lot of stuff going on, and and Buffy realizes what death is my gift means,
because that's what the primal is that what she's called? The first. Well,
I don't think she's
She's the first Slayer, right? And that's what she told her, that your gift is death.
Yeah. And the whole time she's like, what the hell does that mean? Right. But then Buffy finally, she gets there, the beating and everything, and everybody's fighting. Everybody's fighting everybody. And And then she goes up the thing, and she's telling Dawn that she understands, because she starts remembering that, like, wait a minute, Dawn was made out of me. It's my DNA. If her blood works, my blood works.
Yeah.
And she tells Dawn, she finally understands. And then doesn't she say something to Dawn that we don't hear?
I can't remember.
Before she swan dives. I think we do. And then Buffy swan dives into the portal to close it once again, and I remember exactly where I was sitting.
Oh,
and this happens, and I'm like, did Buffy just friggin' die?
She did in fact just die.
Nowadays you have to wait like 3 years for a new season of something. We just used to have to wait a few months.
Right, that's right.
It was a long few months. So now, you said you missed like seasons 4 and 5 when they originally aired. When did you come back to the show?
It wasn't until, like, I had seen some season 5, not all of it, and some season 6. Like, there's just a lot of piecemeal watching here and there while roommates were watching. It wasn't, I saw a lot of the Spike and Buffy stuff,
Yeah. So what did you think about Buffy Swan Dive?
That was crazy to me. I knew that was what she was about to do, and obviously I know there's 2 more seasons coming, so she has to come back, but I'm like, that's absolutely crazy. And we are going to talk next week about it, but them living for months without Buffy, I was so surprised that she didn't just pop right back. It didn't just end up being fine at the end of seaon 5. She was dead and in the ground, dead.
I mean, it's a little bit analogous to Sam Winchester's Swan Dive into Hell.
Yeah,
because in Supernatural, Sam kind of comes back right away, soulless Sam. But for Dean, it's 6 months. Sam.
Yeah. And I really felt sorry, so sorry for Dawn. I mean, she just lost her mother. She just found out this horrible information about herself, which she was wrestling with. And now she loses her only other parent figure and her sister all at once and is by herself. Horrible.
Yeah. That's one of the few times that, like, I had real sympathetic emotion for Dawn. I mean, there's a couple of times. But it's like, did they really just do this? And I was like ever so slightly worried for a moment that they were just going to try to insert Dawn into the storyline as like, oh, she's going to inherit the Slayer powers because she's a magical being to begin with.
Right.
It was a big moment. I mean, I know for narrative purposes, this all works out and sort of, does it?
I think so.
I mean, well, we'll talk about that next episode.
Week? Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if it really does for Buffy.
Oh, no, you said the narrative. I think narrative. For Buffy, for sure, this does not work out well for her.
Does not work out well. I just wish that they had another way to end that season. I know we wouldn't have gotten the season 6 and 7 that we eventually get. I just always hated that's
they always try to do the biggest, most shocking season finales, we gotta shock them with the season finale so they come back. And with Buffy dying, I think everybody was gonna come back. What the hell?
I mean, I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Are you like, do you still to this day wish there was another way to close the portal and neither Buffy nor Dawn would have had to die?
Yeah.
Like there was a way to do it that didn't involve
if they both bled, couldn't they have done enough blood together to open it?
Right? Yeah.
But we didn't need to open that portal, right? It needed to be closed. So that was the whole thing. It needed
to be closed. I don't understand why Dawn's blood was opening it and Buffy diving into it closes it. I don't know. I don't pay a lot of attention.
Right, me too.
Clearly. People are like, you just wrote it and you're sitting there with notes and you're telling me you don't know why she jumped in the hole. Exactly.
I watched the pretty colors and the big shiny portals, and I enjoyed it myself a lot.
Got emotional.
But, yeah, for sure.
Got emotional. That was a big moment. And then we get the Giles. So, and this is the weirdest thing. Why did Buffy choose not to kill? Because he was Ben?
Yeah.
She's like, well,
she had never at this point killed a human ever.
Right.
And she couldn't do that. I don't think. She was not going to do that.
Yeah. Giles.
And that's why Giles was like, you know what? I got no problem killing you.
And I think that just gave us, that just really like took Giles to another level. I think we all went, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so Giles is morally gray.
And I was really surprised when you asked who is your favorite non-Scooby. There was only like maybe one Giles, maybe out of the hundreds of answers. I love Giles. I mean,
Unless they consider him a Scooby.
But you had said in that question that he wasn't considered a Scooby.
Right.
So, but maybe you're right. Maybe people were considering him as part of
people
the
were
group.
like, "You're stupid." He was totally a Scooby. He was
Maybe
the
you're
librarian.
right. But
I don't know.
I love Giles. Really, really a lot. It's
Love
so
Giles.
funny as you watch his forehead wrinkles get deeper as the seasons go on.
He can blame every single one of those on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Correct. They get deeper and deeper as the seasons go on. Just
And I love to see Anthony Stewart Head in his other roles where he doesn't play Giles, because he plays such a jerk off so many times.
Yeah.
So many
can see that.
non-Giles roles. It's great. He's really funny.
Okay,
He's
so
a
I have a
treasure.
question for you
Please do,
about all
yes.
these. So, what do you think in just the seasons that we were talking about today? So 4 and 5. What do you think is the most underrated episode? Because there's a lot of really big episodes in this particular 2 seasons. So, what do you think is most like underrated?
Wait. Oh, by the way, there was a foreshadowing of Dawn in the episode.
You're kidding.
Yes, it's season 4, episode 15. It's the dream episode, and and Faith is making the bed with Buffy, and you're like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And Faith says to her, "That's right, little sis is coming." And then we just move on from that. But she said it before we ever met Dawn.
How weird. I didn't
That's a
even
good
catch that.
I really did like the I think it's season 4, the Thanksgiving episode.
Oh yeah.
Because it gets everybody. I love those episodes where you get everybody
everybody
together. That's why I always like Thanksgiving episodes of TV shows, because they're like, you know how screwed up Thanksgiving is in your house? Imagine these people, right?
Right.
So they all come together. And then Spike shows up in the middle of it, and everybody's fighting, and he's just like, "Okay, this is fun." So I do like that one. I do like that one, and also I have to say the Dracula episode, which is the first episode. of season 5.
Yes.
And Dracula
Such
is
a good one.
In Giles' parlance, I don't think he actually calls Dracula this, but Dracula's a total ponce.
That's one of Spike says that word a lot too.
Yeah,
he uses that word quite a bit. And it wasn't in that episode. Wasn't Xander eating spiders?
It was
or
great
something?
because he made him into Renfield. They sort of Renfielded Xander. Which is your favorite, like, sort of underrated?
I think one of the most underrated episodes is Beer Bad.
Oh my God!
A lot. Yeah. That one, Beer Bad, is such a fun. It was such a funny and fun episode.
Yeah.
It was really lighthearted, and I liked that one. And also the one, and I can't remember the name of it, where Willow, everything Willow says comes true. So like Buffy's gonna marry Spike, and Giles is blind. But the funniest part in that episode is all of a sudden she says something, and Amy the rat is sitting on her bed naked. She's like, yes, and then she's like, oh God, no.
Yes.
Yeah, those 2 episodes are really funny to me.
Amy. We love that Amy just she's there from the beginning.
To Bad Penny.
That Bad Penny. Yeah, I think, what are your thoughts about sort of season 4 and 5 where they are the bridge?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think that it shows how well Buffy did in the fandom specifically, that they were able to take this show that had been about high school and make it now about something else, and people kept watching. Because like I said, that so often is a way to make any show just go off the air. People are like, I'm not with this anymore. And it was just really, really good, you know?
Yeah.
Even with the Riley stuff, even with the Adam stuff, it still ended up a show that people kept watching and wanted to see what happens next. And they brought in Spike, and we like Spike, and now we got this cool villain. They were great 2 seasons.
They were. They really, really were. And I think, Glory for me is the highlight of those 2 seasons, is really
and somehow brought in a cousin Oliver, and it didn't ruin things.
They made it work.
I actually want to ask a question of everyone for next week. So for you and for me and for everyone watching for next week, I want to ask a question. So if Buffy, like the whole show, if it was written the way that Doctor Who is written, and when the Slayer dies, we know when a Slayer dies, a new one takes her place, but let's say instead of a new one coming and take her place, let's say that Buffy regenerates, into a new actress or a new person. If that was the way it was written, who back then would have played the new Buffy 2.0? So for next week, you guys tell
I
us
have to think about that.
So which actress would have been a good replacement? Like a Doctor Who replacement.
Okay, that's a good question.
Yeah,
we want to hear all your thoughts and
all
everything. And next week we will be diving into seasons 6 and 7.
Years.
So, Liza, where can everyone find us?
So we are on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and we're also over on TikTok and Instagram. So come talk to us over there, and you can check out our Patreon as well.
Yes, where you can see all the bloopers of us not being able to do the intro to our own show and other stuff. Just we had a whole conversation one day about foundation. I put that on Patreon, by the way. We did like 7 minutes or 7 or 8 minutes on our foundations. So you definitely want to be on Patreon.
Absolutely on topic for sure. All the time.
Absolutely. And until we see you again next time,
stay unmasked and overstimulated. Bye, guys.
Bye.